Now at 9, law enforcement and first responders are in focus as voters head to the polls today, deciding on crucial tax measures. Carl Junction schools go local, offering fresh foods, real nutrition, and a stronger community. And the community will have a chance to weigh in as Carl Junction sets a new date for the mayor's impeachment hearing.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Voters in a handful of counties in southwest Missouri and southeast Kansas head to the polls today. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Now, some are voting to narrow the list for school board and mayor candidates, and others are facing tax questions to support first responders and law enforcement. In Newton County, voters today decided Proposition A, a local use tax to fund retirement and benefits for Newton County Sheriff's deputies and other county employees. Now, this decision would allow the county to collect sales tax on online purchases from out-of-state vendors at the same rate as the total local sales tax rate. Now, the county clerk in Newton County says they're waiting on results from one final precinct. And residents in Neosho are also voting on a second Prop A question. In addition to the county use tax, they voted on a city use tax to match the local 3% sales tax. This money would be used towards improving salaries and benefits for city first responders, as well as road and bridge improvements. In Kansas, voters in Baxter Springs helped narrow the list for mayoral candidates. Incumbent Mayor Kelly Abbott and Cassie Shaw are the top 2 vote getters and will move on to the November election. You can keep up with the latest election results throughout the evening by scanning this QR code. It'll take you to the Decision 2025 races and results page of our website. Once there, you can get race updates in real time. There's also information on how to find election resources in your area. This is now with a first look at your forecast.
Well, temperatures are quickly dropping down through the 80s with our overnight low getting down into the lower 70s. Now, this is right about average, which is where we should be this time of year. We've had a pretty cool couple of days. Temperatures highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. So we're finally starting to come out of that and get into that heat wave that we've been talking about. Now, although the heat is going to affect us, we actually have a pretty quiet forecast for the rest of the week. You can see we've got clear skies out there right now, mostly clear skies across the 4 states, a few clouds out there in Kansas, but overall it has been a quiet evening. Now, temperatures as we head into Wednesday, getting into the mid 90s with our heat index that could get into the upper 90s and near 100, but I'll have all those details coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Carl Junction schools are updating their school menu to feature locally sourced foods, connecting cafeteria meals with classroom lessons in the community. As KOAM's Tide Park shows us, this new Farm to School program aims to teach students about nutrition and the food system while supporting local farms and making healthy eating fun.
Carl Junction is getting an updated menu this year, updated with local foods. Nutrition and Wellness Director Lindsay Stevenson says,
So the program's main goals are to tie in cafeteria, classroom, and community, to bring local foods into our schools, to benefit the community, to help our students learn about the food system, where their food comes from, all that goes into getting the food from the soil to their plate.
Heartland Farm to School and Early Care and Education Institute chose from a select few schools.
Only 3 schools in Missouri were selected. And then we partner with schools in Kansas and Nebraska as well. We get coaches from the state level to help us implement farm to school practices here on our campus. So it's a program borrowed from Vermont Feed, which has been going on for over 20 years. So they have a lot of best practices and standards that we can learn from and follow to implement a successful program here at Carl Junction.
Nutrition and how our food system works, but also makes eating the right foods fun.
Things that are procured and eaten locally, they taste better, they look better, they have more nutrients available to us because there's less amount of time from the time that it was picked to the time that you're eating it. So I think and I hope that they'll start to enjoy their fruits and vegetables more, and I hope they'll gain a better understanding of where the food on their shelves comes from and how it benefits their body.
The Carl Junction menu will change from food sourced from distributors to food grown and raised around the county.
The kids being more interested in their fruits and vegetables, but also I hope we gain better connections within our community and help support our community while our students are being supported by their fruits and vegetables.
In Carl Junction, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
The program will feature various fruits and vegetables as they're harvested. This month, the program features watermelons. Well, it's back to school season here in the 4 states, and some students in southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma are getting some extra help. Today's back to school fair at the Route 66 soda fountain in Baxter Springs offered free school supplies, haircuts, health screenings, clothing, and more. Students from pre-K to 12th grade in Riverton, Baxter Springs, Galena, and Quapaw could also enter to win a bicycle. Well, bus safety takes center stage tonight at the All Aboard Back to School Bash at Carthage High School. Families toured a school bus, met the Carthage R9 transportation team, and learned key safety tips to keep students secure on the road. Along with grabbing backpacks, families completed their registration to make sure everyone had their bus route info for a safe and confident start to the school year.
I think anytime you have more information and have experience being on a bus, especially our little preschool and kindergartners, sometimes it's their first time that they've been on a bus. So to be able to get on the bus and sit and talk to a bus driver, I think it just makes them more confident and less fearful.
Attendees also had the opportunity to enroll in free and reduced lunch programs and connect with local agencies like Bright Futures that provide support to students and families. Well, if you're looking for events right here in the 4 states but don't know where to turn, we've got you covered. This handy QR code will take you straight to the events page of our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Just scan it with your phone and you'll find information on all kinds of upcoming family fun events, including plenty of information on back to school events. Well, coming up, the moratorium ends.
Ahead of a U.S. deadline to reach a ceasefire, Russia is ending a moratorium on intermediate-range missiles. That's my story coming up.
But up first, global leaders are gathering to craft a UN treaty aimed at cutting the world's surging plastic production. Over the next 10 days, delegates from around the world are working toward a massive treaty. Their goal, combating escalating global plastic production. But as past efforts stalled, fossil fuel advocates are concerned about the possibility of capping plastic production. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten reports.
From the handle of your toothbrush to the jug of creamer that's probably in your fridge, odds are good you start your days off by touching plenty of things made of plastic. But United Nations environmental officials say you're not alone, highlighting the world's obsession with the stuff and how global production of it is failing to decrease.
We're producing 430 million tons of plastic every year. And if we continue as we are, that will go 3 times up by 2060.
But starting Tuesday, UN delegates from more than 170 countries are meeting in Geneva with ambitious goals of completing a global treaty to combat future plastic pollution.
It's accelerating climate change, biodiversity loss, and polluting every corner of our planet.
Similar talks last November in South Korea failed as officials sought to create a legally binding document targeting single-use plastics, cutting overall plastic production, phasing out certain chemicals, and more.
We want to be able to provide plastics to future generations, but we also believe we can provide plastics made from recycled plastics.
This time around, the UN hopes to succeed in creating a treaty with official plastic pollution targets for countries to meet going forward.
It sets a global target and includes mandatory globally agreed national contributions to reduce the amount of plastic that is produced to sustainable levels.
Globally, only about 9% of plastic that's produced is ever recycled. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Well, some doctors say you may want to reach for something other than allergy drug diphenhydramine, which is sold under the brand name Benadryl. In a review published earlier this year, allergy experts from 2 universities say the medication is outdated and dangerous. They also say there are safer alternatives on the market, such as Claritin and Allegra. At the very minimum, the experts say the drug should be moved behind the pharmacy counter. The review notes that Benadryl and other drugs with the same active ingredient can cause sedation, cognitive impairment, and in some cases dangerous cardiac effects. Lindsay's next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, food pantries in need.
The local pantry says it's not always the big things that matter when it comes to giving, but also the little things. I'm Lonnie Walton in Coffeyville. I have that story coming up.
Well, we've had a cooler weekend and a cooler start to our week. However, as we head into the rest of the week, temperatures are really going to start to spike. Now, outside of the higher temperatures, everything else weather-wise is pretty calm. We've got clear skies tonight. Overall, a pretty nice evening. Now, temperatures today got up to the mid-90s with our low this morning at about 63, so still a little bit below average. Now, as we continue to push through the rest of the week, we're just going to see temperatures continually climbing every single day, but clear skies stick around all night long. Now, tonight, temperatures dropping back down into the lower 70s, so it's about a 7 to 10 degree jump from what it was yesterday morning. Pretty average overnight temperatures and those clear skies. Overall, just a great couple of days. We do have a couple of hit and miss shower chances. Wednesday, 10:30, you can see a couple storms trying to make it into our western counties. Not long lived. Those are all passing to the south. Few more clouds by mid-afternoon and early evening on Wednesday. And then again, Thursday could see a couple pop-up showers as well, or just some partly cloudy skies down to clear skies. So again, pretty quiet couple of days outside of those high temperatures and random shower chances here and there, but overall we're really just dealing with the high temperatures. So as we get into Wednesday, we're dealing with this moderate to major risk. Thursday, we start to see that major risk creeping back in, as well as Friday. So for the next couple of days, not only are temperatures increasing, humidity is as well. So we're going to start to see higher heat index values. Now, our forecasted temperature on Wednesday is going to be about 95, 96 degrees. And our heat index, about the same to a few degrees warmer. So we're looking at, it's going to feel like 97 in Joplin, 97 in Parsons, 99 in Nowata and Veneta. Now 95 in Aurora, so not too bad out there on Wednesday. Still hot, but not as hot as it will get. Now once we get into Thursday, heat index across the board from about 100 to 107. Sedan looks like it's our warmest. 101 in Carthage, Joplin, 100 in Neosho and Cassville. Friday, even hotter. We're going to see heat index values that are well above 100. So we're looking at 103 or 102 in Cassville, all the way to about 109 Independence, Sedan. Joplin's going to feel like 105, same in Pittsburgh. So we do have really high temperatures. Now, when our heat index gets into the hundreds, actual temperature is going to be in the upper 90s Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday. Now, luckily, Saturday and into Sunday, we're going to start to see storm chances creeping back in. That's a cold front coming through on Sunday. That's going to drop our temperatures for Sunday afternoon and into Monday. Not long lived. I mean, as you can see, we get into midweek next week. We're back into the upper 90s.
I want to go back to the 80s. Can we do that?
Give it another month or two, and then we'll get back in the 80s.
No, we just have to get through the start of school and everybody just hot.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, a lot of area food pantries say they need your help right now, especially in light of recent funding cuts. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, all donations are welcome, but some can present their own difficulties.
We are giving out like 60 sacks of groceries at least in the last 3 months.
Terry Barrett is the president of Salvation Army Community Volunteers in Coffeyville. She says she's thankful for each donation that comes through.
We fill sacks of groceries like we try and make meals, like with meat and spaghettis and stuff like that.
While Barrett is making these snacks for groceries, some customers have difficulty eating the products, mainly because they contain mixed ingredients.
People a lot of times they don't have milk, so we have to look for stuff that you just use water.
The milk and the eggs are the two things that go, that's in and out.
Linda Frawley is the executive director of Genesis Food Pantry. She says mixed ingredients are vital.
We can give you cereal, but if you don't have milk, it's going to be a little dry.
Spices, salt and pepper, we never get stuff like that.
And not only that, what the product is brought in is also important.
Glass containers are not a good thing to donate to pantries in. Because if you drop them down and stuff, things get broken so much. And then the people have them in sacks. Like our people come in and they just get the sack of groceries and they have to carry it home. And a lot of times they're walking and they're elderly.
And the experts say if you ever have questions on what that pantry's needs are, the best thing to do is just call and ask. Reporting in Coffeyville, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
There are plenty of food pantries around the 4 states that welcome donations year-round. Well, coming up next, the latest impeachment proceedings.
The Carl Junction City Council discusses an upcoming impeachment hearing for its mayor after one scheduled for earlier this week is postponed. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Tonight, the Carl Junction City Council took the next steps in the impeachment process for Mayor Mike Moss. The council met to discuss a new date for the public impeachment hearing. KOAM's Samantha Walker has the latest from the meeting.
It was a packed house at the first regularly scheduled Carl Junction City Council meeting following the continuance of the mayor's impeachment hearing. The impeachment hearing was originally scheduled for August 4th, but was continued after a request by the mayor's attorney and scheduling conflicts with people essential to the proceedings. Mayor Mike Moss is at the center of controversy after allegations of workplace harassment. These allegations come from reported comments referring to female city employees as Steve's harem, a reference to city administrator Steve Lawver. As a result, an investigation proceeded, featuring 5 city employee interviews. The investigation report says the complaints made about Moss's behaviors and comments claim he's created a hostile, uncomfortable, and potentially discriminatory workplace. Multiple employees interviewed say actions from Moss caused significant personal distress, strained relationships, and impacted their work. Some even cite physical impacts, including disrupted sleep and panic attacks. According to the report, the investigation identified many violations of city code. Now the city's council members are bringing 4 articles of impeachment against Moss. According to those articles, Moss has shown a, quote, conscious disregard for the proper order and discipline of the city of Carl Junction, its codes, and the laws of the state of Missouri as they related to the conduct of government. It goes on to say Moss is not suited to hold public office. Council members, city staff, and legal counsel have now voted to schedule the impeachment hearing for August 26th at 6 p.m. If a second day for the hearing is needed, it will continue on August 28th. While no community members used the meeting's public forum to discuss the ongoing controversy, some did raise questions during the meeting about the cost to taxpayers.
Now we've spent $9,000 and we're going to spend a lot more. I think the public needs to get an input to the city council some way or another.
Reporting in Carl Junction, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Well, at tonight's meeting, the council also voted on an ordinance to approve a legal fee agreement with Catterley & Catterley, a Lamar law firm, for legal services for the city during the impeachment proceedings. The city will pay an hourly rate of $300 with a $2,400 retainer. Up next, we take you to the splash pad for National Night Out in Miami, Oklahoma. Miami, Oklahoma residents turned out at the city's splash pad in droves and enjoyed the 2025 National Night Out, where they met police, firefighters, and first responders who serve the city. Police cars, fire trucks, and ambulances were on hand for the crowd to see, as well as a food truck and summertime splash pad events for the kids.
This is a national event that's been going on for a while, and Miami's never taken part in it before. Our new police chief came in, he's trying some new stuff, and this is one of the great ideas he's brought to town.
Just getting them to be able to see that stuff and see all the cool things that we do and just have that interaction with them and see the smiles on their faces. It's community engagement, and it's showing them that we're people just like they are.
Kids also had the chance to hop into an actual driving simulator. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Russia lifts a missile ban as the war in Ukraine escalates, and the U.S. response could push tensions even higher. That's coming up. And the House wants answers and is calling on Bill and Hillary Clinton to testify about their ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Russia's ending a moratorium on intermediate range missiles as tensions build between Moscow and Washington. It comes as more countries join a NATO initiative to get weapons to Ukraine. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has more.
As Russia ramps up its attacks on Ukraine, officials in Moscow say they are ending a self-imposed moratorium on the deployment of intermediate-range missiles that can fly up to 3,400 miles away. In a statement, Russia's foreign ministry cited U.S. plans to station such missile systems in allied countries, calling it a direct threat to national security.
Russia no longer considers itself to be constrained by anything. It has the right to take respective steps if necessary.
The move is likely to raise tensions between Moscow and Washington. Last week, President Trump ordered 2 nuclear submarines to deploy near Russian waters after sparring with former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. He has also imposed a Friday deadline for President Vladimir Putin to reach a peace deal with Ukraine or face massive tariffs.
He's of the belief that by lengthening the war, avoiding serious negotiations, it'll frustrate the United States and we will pull our support.
Meanwhile, Ukraine is getting a boost on the battlefield. Sweden, Norway, and Denmark say they will together contribute nearly $500 million to fund American-made weapons for Ukraine. On Monday, the Netherlands became the first to join the initiative, pledging around $577 million. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Well, President Trump says he's no longer considering Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to replace Jerome Powell as Federal Reserve Chairman. In an interview with CNBC today, the president says he asked Bessent the night before if he wanted to serve as Fed Chair. Now, Bessent said he'd rather keep his current job. Trump says he's considering former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh, top White House economist Kevin Hassett, and 2 others for the position when Powell's term expires next year. Now, he did not identify the other 2. Trump has been critical of Powell, lobbying insults at the Fed chair because the central bank has not lowered interest rates this year. Well, Congress subpoenaed 8 former law enforcement officials and the Clintons to testify about Jeffrey Epstein. It comes as the Department of Justice debates releasing transcripts of last month's interview with Epstein's former girlfriend and confidant. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the latest from Washington.
Chair recognizes Mr. Khanna from California.
The House Oversight Committee is digging deeper into Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and now wants to ask Bill and Hillary Clinton about their relationship with the disgraced financier.
You ought to be speaking about Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times. I never went to the island.
President Trump, also a former friend of Epstein, would rather put the Clintons in the hot seat, but even Democrats want to hear their testimony.
This was voted on by Republicans and Democrats. At the end of the day, this isn't about trying to embarrass Bill Clinton. This is just trying to get answers for the American people.
8 other top law enforcement officials also received subpoenas, including former attorneys general and FBI directors. The House is also giving the Department of Justice until August 19th to hand over the Epstein files after the Senate requested them by the 15th.
The American people have a right to know who else was involved, whether the system really was rigged in favor of the rich and powerful.
Fox has also learned the DOJ is weighing whether to release transcripts from last month's interview with Epstein's former girlfriend and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. They do want the grand jury transcripts from Epstein and Maxwell's cases released, but Maxwell's legal team is trying to prevent this as she appeals her conviction. Lawmakers are ordering the Clintons to testify in October. Fox News reached out to their teams for comment, but we have not heard back. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Lindsay's next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, cannabis in a can.
Those cans you see moving there behind me won't contain any alcohol when they get filled, but they might still give you a buzz. I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network in Houston, Texas, and I'll have the story when we come back.
Emmy got a new mattress from Denver Mattress.
Well, unfortunately, those 80-degree temperatures are out of here. We're back into the 90s. You can see pretty nice weather, though, outside of the warmer temperatures. Taking a look at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We've got clear skies for the rest of the night tonight. Now today was the first day that we're back in the 90s. Our low this morning was still pretty cool thanks to our cooler temperatures yesterday, but we were in near mid 90s today, so we were low to mid 90s across the board. That's closer to average. Unfortunately, it's not long lived. We're going to continue to warm up as we head through the rest of the week, but that's the only big excitement for our forecast. Overall, it's going to be pretty calm weather other than the gradual warm up. Now tonight, temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer, back to average lows, low 70s, upper 60s, but clear skies all night. Now, as we head into Wednesday morning, we do have a possible chance for a shower or two, maybe a little bit of a storm moving in just south of Yates Center. It's going to clip a few of our counties out in southeastern Kansas and even into northeastern Oklahoma near Bartlesville, but really not going to see a lot of widespread threat there. And then other than that, we're going to have cloudy skies for the afternoon all the way out to Joplin. Now, after that, clearing back out, we've got clear skies Wednesday night. That sticks around through Thursday. Might have a little bit of a cloudier morning on Thursday, but the sun returns for the afternoon. Now, outside of those shower chances in our southeastern Kansas counties, the rest of us are going to deal with mostly sunny skies all day or all morning, and then temperatures warming up to the upper 80s by 11 a.m. and then getting into the 90s shortly after that. So our heat risk is just going to gradually warm up over the next couple of days. We've got a moderate risk for most of us. You can see out there near Grove, Jay, Bentonville, a little bit less of a risk there for the heat, but just south of Stockton, a major heat risk. Now that's just going to continue to climb through Thursday. Thursday and Friday are our two hottest days on the forecast period. So we do have this major risk out in our Missouri counties and southeastern Kansas, mainly just those areas. But again, it is going to continue to warm up even through the rest of the weekend. Now our temperatures on Wednesday, forecasting to get into the mid 90s, and our heat index, which is what it's going to feel like outside, upper 90s, 97 in Joplin, 98 in Baxter Springs, 99 Veneta, Newata, Sedan. That's staying just below any heat advisory limits, but we're likely going to see those popping up by Thursday because our heat index on Thursday, almost everybody is above 100. But you can see our highest looks to be Sedan at 107, Joplin 101, Nevada 103. Friday is even hotter. We're going to see the heat index values that range from 102 to 110. So we've got very hot temperatures Thursday and Friday, specifically thanks to a few showers that might start Saturday, definitely into Sunday. We're going to see cooler temperatures Sunday and Monday, but then that heat wave just returns back next week.
All right, well, get used to the heat because it's here.
Oh yeah, it's August.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, one sure sign summer is almost over happens when the Joplin Police Department throws its final party in the park for the year. Visitors and families are invited out to Parr Hill Park for hot dogs and cool drinks, a splash pad, and a chance to check out some first responder vehicles. Now, this particular party takes place from 4 p.m. until 7 this coming Friday. Still ahead, the Mid-America League playoffs begin this evening with the Joplin Outlaws looking to become repeat champions. We'll have the update on their matchup. Plus, another local Little League team is World Series bound. We find out which squad is heading to the big stage in Branson.
The Pittsburgh and Webb City 12 and under All-Stars proudly represented Kansas and Missouri in the Little League Midwest Region Tournament over the weekend and into Monday. But there's another 12U squad in the area that is World Series bound. The Frontenac All-Stars are gearing up for the Cal Ripken World Series in Branson after winning the Midwest Plains Region Championship. The big stage is nothing new for this star-studded squad, as this Frontenac group has prior World Series experience. And despite being from a small town, the All-Stars are ready to shock the world under the bright lights.
This group qualified for the World Series 2 years ago as 10-year-olds in Crown Point, Indiana. And so for 2 years, this has been our goal to get to Branson and compete in the 12-year-old World Series. You know, it's a great experience for a small town like ours to send a team there. The boys, they believe that they can compete, and that's all we ask. We're going to play really hard and go out and represent our town community really well.
We practice hard. We've been practicing for about 2 months, 2 hours and 30 minutes, around 3 hours every day. No breaks. So even though we're a small town, I feel like we could really be some competition for some of the teams.
Frontenac is relying on their past experience a couple of years ago to prepare them for the competition they will face. The All-Stars' focus entering the tournament is to take it one matchup at a time, with the goal of winning one game.
Traditionally, Kansas has not won very many games in the history of Cal Ripken there. So we want to go out and play good baseball, but the goal number one is we want to win one game. And then we'll go on to the next game and from there. With our past experience a couple years ago, where we're at with our pitching, I don't think that's out of the rim of possibilities for us to make the championship bracket. But number one, we want to win a game.
The fact that we're even there, I mean, that's really exciting. And the fact that they're going to figure out who we are after this, it's going to be fun. They probably don't even know where we're from, so we're just going to show them how we play.
The All-Stars hit the road for Branson tomorrow morning and will play their first of 3 pool play games on Friday at 9 a.m. against the Oregon Invite, Westland Baseball. The Joplin Outlaws' quest to become back-to-back Mid-America League champions began tonight with their playoff semifinal matchup against the Texarkana Rhinos. The top-seeded Outlaws are coming off a historic regular season performance, finishing with a 47-15 record, and Joplin is 3 outs away from returning to the championship series, leading the Rhinos 5-4. Mikhail Turner leading the way with 4 RBIs, and Garrett Springer knocking in the potential game-winning run back in the 6th inning. On Monday, the Royals and Cardinals continued their respective road trips, with Kansas City and Boston take on the Red Sox, and St. Louis and Los Angeles battling the Dodgers. And after dropping the series opener 8-5 last night at Fenway, Kansas City had Ryan Bergert make his first start in Royal Blue, and he delivered with a career-high 5 2/3 innings, charged for only 2 runs. However, a 3-run 7th inning fueled the Red Sox to a 6-2 win. KC has now lost 7 straight series to Boston. They'll look to avoid the sweep tomorrow with Michael Wacha on the mound. As for the Cardinals, they took Game 1 against the Dodgers 3-2 on Monday. Mason Wynn, Ivan Herrera each hit a solo home run, but it was Yoel Pozo playing the hero once again, knocking in the game-winning run with a pinch hit RBI single in the 9th inning. However, the Cards trail 2-0 in the 2nd inning. Freddie Freeman knocking in a run, Max Muncy clearing the yard in the early going.
Not a good week so far for the Royals, though.
No, need some wins to get back in the wild card race, and they are struggling right now. Lose another series. Hopefully they can avoid a sweep, get a win tomorrow, then go to Minnesota, who's struggling and pretty much sold off their entire roster at the trade deadline. So they have a chance for some wins, but they got to clean it up quick.
All right, we're back with more news after this. Alcohol sales are falling, and that's causing some beverage makers to switch to THC products. Fox Business correspondent Jeff Locke is at the 8th Wonder Brewery in Houston with more.
This is the Bayou City Hemp Company, and those cans that you see behind me, which maybe you're used to seeing with a seltzer, an alcoholic seltzer or beer, no alcohol in those cans, at least there won't be when they get filled, just THC. That's the active ingredient, the psychoactive ingredient that derives from hemp. And you know, hemp is something that is quite legal in the U.S. and pretty much unregulated. Some states have an issue with that. But the THC drink market is booming. Take a look at these numbers. Alcohol sales in the U.S. this year down big time, between 5 and 9% among beer, wine, and spirits. But the THC drink market booming. It was a $230 million market a couple of years ago. It's now a $1 million market, going up, some people think, to $30 million over the course of the next decade. Some lawmakers, however, have a problem with THC drinks. They want more regulations on them, and in fact, in Texas here, tried to ban them. The lieutenant governor here saying, and I quote him now, "Bad actors have taken advantage of a loophole in Texas agriculture law to sell the potent, intoxicating forms of THC, endangering the health and safety of children and families across the state with no accountability." We talked to the man who's the CEO of the Bayou City Hemp Company, and he tells us they would welcome regulation. They understands concerns, but you know, we regulate alcohol, and that's gone pretty well over time.
You know, we push strong regulations. We want this regulated very similar to alcohol. We think there's an opportunity here to get it right and still allow consumers to be adults and make choices on their own and keep this out of the hands of kids.
Other interesting thing we found out is that actually it's not just young people drinking THC drinks as you might think. People actually my age, 60s and 70s, they actually kind of like it too, thinking it's better for their health rather than the alcohol, which sometimes, doesn't agree with some people. I guess we'll see how it all turns out. I'm going to stick with ice cream as my vice. At the Bayou City Hemp Company in Houston, Texas, I'm Jeff Locke with the Fox Business Network.
Ice cream's not a bad idea. Up next, new trailers, new scares, and a new suit for Spidey. We've got your Hollywood first looks coming up. Denzel Washington, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Tom Holland all star in today's Hollywood Nation. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with more.
We ready? Spidey's suit, Flanagan's scares, and Spike Lee's joint are in today's Hollywood Nation.
I need a theme music.
In today's first looks is a trailer for Spike Lee's Highest to Lowest, starring Denzel Washington, Jeffrey Wright, and A$AP Rocky. The film follows a music mogul targeted with a ransom plot. It's the 5th collaboration between Lee and Washington. The crime thriller is in theaters August 15th and streams September 6th on Apple TV+.
I'm about to add to your problems, Ella.
A trailer was released for Ella McKay, written and directed by Oscar winner James L. Brooks. The cast includes Emma Mackey, Jamie Lee Curtis, Woody Harrelson, Kumail Nanjiani, and Iowa Debris. The movie's logline says it centers on an idealistic young woman juggling family and work in a comedy about the people you love and how to survive them. It's in theaters December 12th.
The abandoned town of Shelby Oaks.
There's a Summerween sneak peek of Shelby Oaks by writer-director Chris Stuckman and executive producer Mike Flanagan. The supernatural horror is about a paranormal investigator gone missing and her sister searching for years to find her. The scares head to theaters October 3rd. Tom Holland showed off Spider-Man's brand new suit for Brand New Day. A teaser on Instagram shows the actor gearing up for a big reveal and asking someone, "We ready?" with a caption which asks, "Are you ready?" Get ready. He shared Spider-Man Brand New Day is in theaters July 31st, 2026. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
All right, well, that is our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a cheetah enjoying an icy meat sickle at the Cincinnati Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.